Do it. I pushed. My computer is all.
This is the Lowco Sports Lowdown Podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
I knew it was going to happen, and Wes Kerr isn't here either. There he is, though. Live programming, ladies and gentlemen. Wes is on his way in. Oh, we're fighting. We're fighting. I got you, Wes. I got you. All right. We've got Justin Jarrett. We got Wes Kerr. We got the Stricklander. We got Boy Blue. It is chaos on a Tuesday night, Lowco Hoops Report style. Wes is coming in hot from a couple of really good games at the Nest, including a game winner for the Seahawks. So I'll run down some scores real quick that we do have. We will effort the others as we go along. And then, Wes, we're going to let you tell us about that Hampton County Hilton Head High showdown, because both games were down to the fire. So
it's absolutely crazy stuff over at the Nest between Hilton Head and Hampton County. Back and forth thriller. And my God, this Hilton Head team, I knew they would be better than what we saw last year, but Shane Brand has got a squad that is cooking. And they're just playing like a complete team on both ends, relentless defense, just like we saw from the state championship team a couple years back. But it's a completely new group of kids who have really bought in together. And man, are they putting it together and making some timely shots, no bigger than the game-winning corner three from Reese Stewart to cap off a 28-point night. Just an incredible performance for Mr. Stewart, who cool, calm, collected in the tie game as the clock ticked down, nailed the three from the corner. But man, this one was back and forth the whole way. Luke Danzel, he won on an and one, but then Hampton County went right back to the other end and made a pair of free throws to tie it up, and then Stewart being the hero at the Nest. But man, this Shane Brown team is looking really solid. A lot of pieces that stepped up today. Stewart, the number one guy, but Luke Danzel has been a really nice ball distributor, great hustle player, and it's got some other guys who can make timely shots at key moments and just play that Shane Brown style of defense that we've come to see throughout his tenure here so far with the Seahawks. But man, just what a tremendous high school basketball game. I mean, you saw the effort on both ends from the offense as well as quick hand steals defensively. Obviously, no cave on Chisholm, as you mentioned, because north-south game. So certainly Hampton County did have a big piece that was missing in this game. But even so, that Joshua Good was terrific inside. Xavier Garvin made his presence known. Relentless attacker on the offensive side, picking up some key boards and getting to the foul line. And, this was just a terrific clash between, two teams that like to go run and gun and have some dynamic weapons, can knock down shots from the outside and, just play that high energy style of basketball. And I am really liking what Shane Brown is doing. That's two really strong wins in a row, starting with that one last week on Saturday against a very Georgia, and then they do it again here. Taking down Hampton County Hurricanes.
Somebody's getting blown up.
I think is going to be a strong, piece here as you get towards this region play. Strong competitor in this region. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what they do. And then this Hilton Head team, I mean, they got all the pieces they need to be a tough out when it comes to 7-4A. So, certainly it's a long way to go for the Seahawks squad, but I like they play with chip on their shoulder. They play with that defensive energy, and they got some guys who can make some shots and make some good passes too to find some open shooters. So, really, really impressed by what Hilton Head did tonight over a very good Hampton County team.
No doubt. My computer is not my friend tonight, so I apologize for any blips in the I think the Hargraves have been having trouble today. I know the school district was down and USCB campus internet was down. So I think we've got a worldwide Lowco-wide heart rate issue happening today. So we're going to blame it on that and say it's not my computer, but we know my computer might be the culprit as well. Here's some scores. Whale Branch girls win 29-22 over Battery Creek. First win for Whale Branch. We're going to have Javon and Tristan from Beaufort Zone on to talk about those games here in a little bit. May River 53-33 over Beaufort in the girls game. Liz Duncan with 12. Nice win for May River there. We have some weird transitive property things happening on the girls' side. We'll get into those in a little bit. Hampton County 47-43 over Hilton Head. You saw that one, Wes. Anybody stand out in that girls' game for you?
Yeah, a couple of Hilton play. Of course, starting with Hampton County, Lyric Jones made a couple of important threes, and Billy
on her birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to Lyric Jones. Great to see that. And then a couple of Hilton Head players that really stood out. Of course, this is a team that's now without Linda Young, so you're going to have some other players who kind of step up in a couple different roles, because you can't really replace someone as dynamic and as efficient as Young. So you're going to have several guys who make up that deficiencies in different spots. But I liked what I saw from Hilton Head tonight. Asia Godson is that prolific passer, ball distributor they need to. I think the player that really stood out was Amaya Roten, who led the way in scoring. She was tremendous at the free throw line and made a trio of three-pointers. So that's someone who's going to have to be able to sink the three ball and find ways to pick up the scoring and produce the free throw line. But she's really come out of nowhere this year. And then Leah Jackson coming back. Certainly not the best scoring output in terms of points, but her defense and just her height and her ability to grab rebounds, that's going to be very useful for the Hilton to have her back. And then Lawton Kroos, Emily Pfister also, providing some solid minutes as well for that Seahawk team. So, two tough losses, but, two very strong efforts against some good teams. And, Russell Nazuski is a great coach, and he's got the Seahawk team competing despite losing their star in Linda Young.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a nice win for Hampton too, though. That team I think is gelling together more and more with each passing game, and they could be pretty good. Stricklander, Patrick Henry with the sweep tonight out at the farm, 55-29 for the girls and 76-66 for the boys against Andrew Jackson Academy. Little bit different look out there. Coach Belinda's gone from the girls' side, so but it seems like they're playing pretty well so far, and the guys with a nice win tonight. So how the Patriots been looking so far? I mean, obviously you guys are still basking in the glow of that football championship, but
a little bit. We got the big I think the big team party Saturday, so y'all won't see this for too much longer. They're gonna shave my head.
Right.
That's all they can talk about all night tonight. Stop it. Sorry, Blue is wild tonight.
Blue is wild out tonight.
All right, let me throw the ball so we get away from
our
me.
favorite Blue healer. Blue. Blue.
Yeah, so this is actually our third game, and it's the first win for both of the teams. So we played Hilton Head Prep. He always comes back. We played Hilton Head Prep. We played Cathedral, and tonight was Andrew Jackson. So the girls, they came out pretty hot those first two games. I think it was 7-0 against Prep and then 12-0 against Cathedral. And then, just kind of back and forth, turnovers and all kind of stuff. And then tonight we still had turnovers, but the offense finally showed up. Lillian Lucas, she had 23 points, 10 rebounds.
Oh, nice.
Her sister Mills had 7 points. And Lainey Futch she's one of the big ones down low. Let's see what she had. Stats on Max Preps are all over the place. She had 12 rebounds total, 5 points. But
nice.
That was a good team effort. I know with the girls, and I was talking with Coach AC, Anthony Creech. He's the new girls coach. So this is his first win as head coach. But
nice.
Same thing we say every game. If we cut out the turnovers, we're going to win games. And I think tonight the girls really saw, hey, if we come out and we play our game, we eliminate mistakes.
Take care of it. Yeah,
take
care of it.
Right. And then
take care of every pass.
Stop
Blue.
It.
Come on, man. Give him a break.
I don't know what is going on. I've had him locked up all day, I guess. And then with the boys, so I honestly think the boys could be 3-0. I mean, somebody at Hilton Head Prep might disagree with me, but Coach Claude, he subbed a lot that first game because he knew that all our football all-stars were going to be gone. And so we played Cathedral with 6 players. And, they're the AA state runner-up from last year. They're really good. They're still good this year. And so I know honestly, we didn't have Hugh and Forrest and Andy Searles
because of the
All-Star game. And but still, I mean, we held Cathedral close till the third quarter, and then it just kind of blew up, and we got outscored like 20-4 or something like that. And Michael had so many fouls. Michael T had so many fouls, they had to bench him. But it's a non-conference game, and some guys who might not get a lot of playing time got some experience and all that kind of stuff. But tonight, it was kind of the usual names from football, plus there's a couple of new ones that you might not have heard. Let me find. Sorry, I got to find the right thing.
You're my boy, Blue. I love the energy from you.
I know.
He's nuts.
Blue kills me, man. He cracks me up.
Anytime you want. So,
no, I'm good.
Hugh and Forrest were fighting for a high score. I had Hugh with 26 points and Forrest with 23. And Rowan Croft had 15. So, I think the boys are just going to get better, just like the girls. But, I mean, with the boys, you've got Hugh and Forrest, Rowan, Day-Day, and Michael T. I mean, those guys can all score 15 to 20 points a game. I think, they get the offense rolling, and I think we're going to win games, and I think we got a shot at it this year.
Just got to find those basketball legs, after finishing up that state championship football season. But that's a good problem to have when you're coming off that football title. But just tell me about this schedule and how it shapes up for this Patrick Henry team going forward.
I don't think we're playing any tournaments this year. But it's, I think 23, 24 games for both teams. Conference play will start the end of this month. I think we play cross before we go into the holidays. Of course, we had to cancel the first 2 or 3 games because the football season was still going on. But, so some teams have already – I mean, this was like Andrew Jackson's 6th game. We're only on game 3.
Right.
But I feel like it's kind of wide open this year, especially with girls. I thought Cathedral was going to be the team to beat. Now, they're still good. They got some girls who can shoot the ball. But their coach and his daughter, they are no longer there. I don't know where they went. Somewhere else in Charleston. But they have 6 players, and they have 2 or 3 girls that can shoot some threes and all that, but get in foul trouble, and it gets a little hard to make a deep run, I would think. But I mean, they're still a solid team, but I don't know. Our region is going to be Beaufort. Of course, us. I've heard Cross is flex, but I've heard they've got some young girls who are really good, and then of course you got Belinda over Carleton Prep. She's going to have them trained up and coached up and ready to go. We don't play them until February, maybe.
They've been on a roll. They've won 3 in a row, I think, and then they're playing again tonight against Christian, who's not great.
Their girls are usually pretty good.
But they got hammered by JP2 last night. I know JP2 is good, but it was pretty lopsided. So I'm not sure how good they are this year. I mean, JP2 is pretty solid. Yeah,
I think they were good last year. But and then Friday we play at Dorchester. So after football, it's going to be probably. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little chippy, at least for the boys' game.
Okay, JP2 beat Palmetto Christian by 17. So that'll be a good test for Belinda girls. They're on a good roll so far. That's good to see because that program's been kind of down. So good to see them.
When I was in school, Carleton Prep was lights out with their girls program, and then they.
Their girls have been, they were usually pretty tough, and then they'd kind of fall on hard times. But they always have athletes on the girls' side. It seems like, they got a lot of volleyball and softball, and kids who can play. Little wrestling update on the Hoops Report from Jake Sowers at Beaufort. Looks like the Eagles took it on the chin tonight to get some really quality competition, but that'll make them better.
We got
I
some
love wrestling
wrestling on
update.
tap tomorrow, though, till we cross the Lowco.
We do, yeah. We got Creeks over at May River. That'll be a good one. Some other scores from tonight, hoops wise.
Sorry, cut off. I'm sorry to cut off. I know this is hoops report, but just wrestling tomorrow at Bluffton. I know there might be a Hilton Head meet as well.
I don't think there's one at Bluffton. There's one at May River. Battery Creek's at May River, and Hilton Head I think has Bridges. But no, some other scores from tonight from hoops. Just found a couple more. Bradwell Institute beat Hilton Head Christian girls 57-31, and boys 59-38. Mentioned earlier, Whale Branch girls 29-22 over Battery Creek. Whale Branch boys 56-51 over Battery Creek. They didn't put the regular starters in until like midway through the second quarter. Am I frozen? Oh, have I been frozen this whole time?
Just robot voice, pretty much.
Was I frozen or could you hear me? Just robot voice? Okay. I don't know what's going on with the internets over here, but they're not strong. But scores are scrolling across the bottom, some of them. And Wes is private added me. Oh, we got some highlights. If I can get them pulled up. But let's see. Hilton Head Prep girls with another win. 49-19 over St. Vincent's. They are rolling.
That's solid.
Thomas Hayward girls have won 2.
Nice.
Thomas Hayward girls have beaten Memorial Day twice, so they've got 2 dubs. They only had 1 last year. So good for them. On the boys' side, Beaufort 60-49 over May River. You talked about Hilton Head 61-58 over Hampton. Hampton's played a bunch of close games already. Bradwell Institute beat HHCA 59-38. Hilton Head Prep 52-46 over Bethesda on the road. That's a nice win. And then Strickland told us Patrick Henry 76-66 over Ajax. But we're looking forward to seeing the Beaufort own boys shortly. But, tell us more about the Hilton Head game, Wes, or what else you want to talk about?
Yeah, that Hilton Head game. My God, love the energy from the student section over there throughout. Just an incredible atmosphere. Hampton brought their cheerleaders and as well. So you love to see that energy out there. But man, what a classic night of basketball at the Nest. And this Hilton Head team, as I said, really a complete group. You don't have that star guy compared to when you had Will McCracken or Jalen Seed a couple years ago. But this might be the best Shane Brown coached team since then. Just by the way they've grown as a unit and everybody's sticking up for each other. I just love the way that they're unselfish with the ball. There's not. I mean, Reese did lead the way, but they really did a good job of finding open shooters and just playing, really efficient, inside out offense. Finding the guys on the corner to knock down some shots. The Hampton certainly, had the height and the strength. We just look at the size and the floor, but Hilton Head just. The way they play defense, they make it so difficult for you to get that open look near the rim. They're going to pack it in. They're going to make you earn it when you either get to the line or make a shot in traffic. And that's kind of what Shane Brown's teams have done. They play that hard-nosed defense. They're great in transition. When they get a steal, they can make it track meet, run down the floor. Hampton did a little bit as well, but Hilton had a good job of just finding ways to get back on defense and disrupting their shots just a bit to get some misses and get some rebounds. And then on the glass, Hilton Head really doing some tough hard-nosed work. A couple of key blocks from the shots as well on the defensive side for the Seahawks. I mean, really a complete performance from that entire group. But Tajay Wright had a tremendous game. Defensively, he came up with a couple blocks. And then so did John O'Gorman, another two-way standout who's going to give you everything for the amount of time that he's on the floor. Came up with a couple of big buckets near the rim in the third quarter. Always also another very unselfish player. So, I love the way that they share the rock and just, play that, complete style of basketball on both ends and really have the unselfish mentality. Bowman also with a strong game, picking up 3 in that first quarter. So it really was the Reese Stewart show throughout. I mean, he was the go-to guy. They were able to get him the ball and find himself some open looks, and he is electric. He can take it to the rim as well. He can weave his way through defenders. That guy has really grown up a lot since I saw him last year. And, I knew he was going to be a standout from what I saw from him last season, but he's more refined. He's more confident this year when he's taken to the rim, and his shot has improved as well. So he has become a heck of a leader for this team in terms of shot making and just that electric offensive ability, but really the team around him has really grown as well. It's been fun.
No doubt.
I talked a lot about Bluffton and what they did, but this Hilton team, I just feel that Shane Brown always has strong defensive groups. I think the offensive upside, I think what they can do in terms of their shot selection and their passing, that's something that was really impressed this game and throughout the season. That went on Saturday as well. So two
great start.
Two fairly close two close victories, but 2 fairly impressive wins at that as well, especially against a Hampton County team that's right now in the top 5 in Class 2A.
No doubt. And we welcome Robbie B. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Gotta love
that was
Robbie.
Yes,
sir. Robbie, what's going on, man? Where did you get to St. Andrews tonight for the cross girls?
I did.
Yeah.
That was invigorating. Actually, it was a pretty good game. St. Andrews had a kid back that they didn't have the other day versus Prep, who was pretty much their point guard and like their lead kid. But it was mostly a 12 to 15 point game, sometimes ballooning close to 20 for cross. And the foul discrepancy, now check this out, was 28 free throws for St. Andrews, 4 for cross.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
home cooking.
Yeah, a little bit of home cooking, and it still kind of took it on the chin. So it is what it is. But they're actually, St. Andrews is coached fairly well. You can tell they move the ball nicely.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good overall. That team's coming
6-0.
They're 6-0. I think little paper lion stuff. They haven't played too much. We'll get to see a little more coming up Friday versus Beaufort, of course, and then Saturday they got St. Joe's coming in, who is from Greenville, who is Catholic school, who plays, I guess, Skeezel 1A now, but apparently used to be 4A Skeezel, right?
Yeah, they were.
Oh, you meant Shizzle 1A? Yeah, they play Shizzle 1A now.
Yeah.
Well, not for long.
Yeah.
They won't be 1A anymore. I don't know what they'll be, but it won't be 1A. I promise you that.
The
multiplier.
The new multiplier realignment factor.
Yeah, the multiplier will bump them up.
It seems like they've lost a lot of kids this year for some reason or another.
But still, they're going to have a lot of kids from outside of what the high school league's attendance zone is.
Well,
so they're going to get tripled up on those.
How did that transpire to begin with? If they were at ESA at one point in the 3A or 4A,
they elected to jump ship.
They just jumped.
They elected to jump ship and go win championships in High School League 1A instead. And right, you got more insight on that, Stricklander?
I mean, I was like 10 years old when they made the switch, I guess. But yeah, for some reason they switched from ESA over to High School League, which that really doesn't. I don't think that happens too much that I can think of. I mean, St. Joe's is probably the only school that I know of that did it.
Yeah,
that's made the switch.
Pretty scarce, but yeah, they've kind of run things in 1A for a while. So
yeah, they've done pretty well. It should be interesting.
They won't now.
They're coming down here and they've got JP2 and then cross back. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We have some fun transitive property things happening on the girls' side because Beaufort has now beaten Whale Branch twice, but then Whale Branch beat Battery Creek which beat Ridgeland, which beat May River, and May River just beat Beaufort by 20. So,
well, I mean, at the end of the day, like, none of those are squads.
I know
right now.
None of it matters. None of it really matters.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like, there are good individual performances coming out of some of that. Liz Duncan for May River again had 15, so 2027 freshman. That's pretty solid outing. I think the Jaden kid up at Ridgeland's been playing well.
Yeah, Exley. Yeah,
Jaden Exley.
Solid.
She's
solid. They lost last night, a close one against Allendale, right? Your girl Trinity had a big game.
Yeah, Trin went nuts, as she's bound to do sort of at this level. She's a good 6'1", and
she's a beast, dude.
Yeah, she's a full thing. And so she got loose for 25 and 19, and I think this final score was 42-40. So I would say that is impactful, right? Like that's a pretty solid night of basketball for Trin. But it was interesting to see Hampton beat Hilton Head today.
Lyric's birthday. We shouted her out earlier.
Yeah. Which is super cool. I mean, but at the end of the day, Hampton had been struggling up until now. So, they took the opportunity to kind of get a W there, which was a good thing. I know Richmond Hill struggled at Hilton Head last weekend. From all reports I got, they didn't turn on the air or anything. Kids were slipping and sliding around the court, and it was like nuts down there. But it was a 6-point win for Richmond Hill, which is generally considerably less than it's been over the last couple of years. So, even without Linda, that seems to be somewhat of a step up. I was surprised to see them step back, I guess, and lose to Hampton tonight. I mean, other than that, it's impressive to see Courtney and Prep keep amassing wins. Like St. Vincent's isn't good, but they're not terrible. And I think a year ago, St. Vincent's put it on Prep like by 20 or so.
Prep beat them by 30 tonight.
Yeah, so Prep's like putting it on right now. How JP2 do last night? Do you know?
They won by 17, and Mahoney had a big one.
Who they play again?
Had Palmetto Christian. She had 21 points, 15 boards, 5 assists, 3 blocks. Solid.
Yeah. Palmetto Christian's got about 7 kids, but 2 of them are really nice. So that's they continue to churn it out. Right now, I mean, especially with the way Christian got bludgeoned tonight, right? 3A starts to get a little more interesting if those 2 other teams start to chug a little, because there's no doubt Christian's not well.
My internet is killing me tonight. Let's shout out some sponsors. I'm trying to get Wes's highlights up, but let's shout out some sponsors, and then we have a friend in the green room. The MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports, starting with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports, and my wife. She's with the Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she would love to help you find your place in the Lowco. So let's get started today. I just saw Dave Ramsey said it's time. It's time to start looking at the real estate market. The rates dropped again. So, give us a call. Team Lowco, get you hooked up over here. When we find the perfect home, we'll go to homegrown home inspections. My guy, Jan Lucas, and his team will bring a incredible level of expertise and customer service to the process and make sure that you are investing in a quality built home and not going to have any hidden expenses down the road. They'll be your eyes and ears. And homegrown home inspections. Nice cough, Robbie. Now they know it's a live read. Mickelson Law Firm, our first sponsors, are the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports, and they're still with us 6 years later. We love Ryan and Tiffany and the team over at Mickelson Law Firm. So see them for all your legal needs and hospice care, the Lowcountry. Wonderful caring staff over there, providing hospice care and palliative care, as well as free grief counseling in our community. And support them if you can, because at hospice care, the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. And we'll see if we can get Tristan in. He's having internet issues like the rest of us are tonight. But Tristan Roberts, Whale Branch student, and doing great work on Beaufort's own. You good, Tristan? You having trouble with the internet? May not have video, but we can probably hear you. We got you? You good, man? He's still getting it sorted out. We'll let him get it sorted out. But they were over at Whale Branch, Battery Creek tonight, and Whale Branch girls got the dub, first one of the year, 29-22. Seeing progress there. And the boys, Whale Branch, I got a text from our guy, Joe Allen, Wes, saying we didn't even play the starters in the first half, and we won. Say Creek our starters in the first quarter. That's true, and KJ wasn't there either. So, I guess that tempers, the enthusiasm a little bit for Battery Creek, but still 5-point game, and it does show the depth that Whale Branch has for sure.
Yeah,
Anything to that, Wes?
Tristan,
you there?
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, we've got a lot of depth here for top end talent this year in the Lowcountry. Whale Branch, I expect them to really continue to pick up the pace. Once they grow behind a tremendous coach Jeremiah Faber. So what a treat they have to play under him for this year, and they've always got some terrific athletes. So I'm pumped to be following them this year and to really count this cover this journey. I'm trying to effort to some players if they send them.
I'm just trying to get the internet to work so I can play videos, but it's not happening for me tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of slow on mine too.
Yeah, Tristan's having trouble over there as well. So it looks like Estel's the only place the internet's working tonight.
Those nights here in the Loco.
Oh, you're in Hampton now?
Yeah, I live in Hampton.
You live? I thought you lived in Estel. Oh, cancel that. That's not what I'm trying to do. Yeah, my internet is no good. Robbie, anything else to add about how about Thomas Hayward girls? They got their second win of the year, both over Memorial Day, but nonetheless, they got their second dub.
I mean, that is a good thing. And then certainly Memorial Day's had their struggles over the last couple of years. We know their coach, and I think she's trying valiantly, but it's sort of a program that, look, I think that's whose Bridges win was versus last year. You know what I mean?
I think they got him earlier this year too.
It could probably be a Donnybrook between them and Royal Live Oaks. So, at the end of the day, a win is a win is a win. So you'd love to see it, and hopefully that'll spur some more W's. And Thomas Hayward, we'll see. I don't think anything gets easier for them. There's a lot of that transitive stuff going on out there too, between like the Holy Trinities and the Andrew Jacksons and the Colleton Preps and Thomas Haywards. I
don't sleep on Colleton Prep girls with Coach Belinda.
Well, so I saw they had a nice result the other day versus Cathedral comparatively to what it should have been in the past. And you would have to think that almost all goes credit to her just for the way they move the ball and kind of just have a system, their system in play. I'll tell you what, I think St. Andrews is a little like that too. They're smart with
move it around.
Yeah, they're smart with the way they move it, and they know where they're trying to go with it. It's just a matter of if they have. Again, there's certain things that change games. I think on the the girls' side very quickly. Like if you have a point guard that's sort of on the elite side, well, all bets are off, right? They can get where they want on the floor. They can get in the lane. They can, So there's. That changes things. I think Cross is getting more and more to be in that category. And if they don't have, the truly elite point guard, they certainly have a very, very good one. And then they have 2 or 3 other kids who can play it a little bit, So they're tough to press. And every team that's come out this year, and and that goes for like Andrew Jackson, all those teams want to press. all the lower end skeezes, and that might be applicable across the board, right? Because I know,
right.
When I talk to folks,
Well, yeah, because you got to create easy buckets when you don't have offense. You got to create easy buckets.
and I think around here you have a lot of coaches that because it's not the most popular thing, and you go into a season looking at a roster where there's not that many kids who played like spring or summer ball, right, at a high level.
Right.
So at that point, you go for the lowest common denominator, which is what kind of offense can we institute where we get freaking layups, right?
Exactly.
Like move it as quickly as we can and get it as close to the basket as we can, because we don't really want any of our kids shooting 6, 8, 10, 12, certainly not 18, 20 feet. So then, of course, the teams that have those kids who shoot from 20 and 30 and 25, they have a prohibitive advantage.
Layups and threes, most effective shots, but in high school, most of the time it's just can you make as many short range layups as possible and be effective.
And I mean it's funny, like breakaways are a thing in high school girls ball that don't exist. So like that was a thing I've been talking about a lot with coaches recently, because analytics are getting to the point, right, where a lot of these teams have huddles, and I have access to a lot of their huddles, and and then the huddles dump to max prep, so you get a good feel for their stat package and all that. But what you don't really get to see via the max prep dump down is like the huddle stuff, which is the effectiveness of like what they're actually trying to do, right? Okay, so they run this blob however many times, how many times was it effective and they got 2 points out of it, or it actually went to the person it was designed to go to, things of that nature. So with regards to all of that, there's certainly interesting things that get broken down over the girls' season, and you look at the shot charts, and they're incredibly close to the basket comparatively to the boys' side. And those teams again who have like a more diversified, they're not. If you see teams that are running looks for corner threes in girls' ball, they're one of those teams, right? They're like an elite team. They're like an elite team. So we've seen, and I swear to God, until tonight, this is just speaking from my kid. Until tonight, we have not seen man. We're in the 6th game of the year. We had not seen 1 ounce of man yet.
Wow.
And
crazy.
Yeah, 0.
That's wild.
And tonight they went man, and then we put them back in zone in about 30 seconds. It was like you could see the kid salivate. It was like, so it was just it was one of those things where so they just went. So we're hopefully as the season goes along, we'll get to see more individual matchups, right? And it just doesn't get to be about like coaches pushing it as far out on the court as possible to create the worst possible shot possible. Meanwhile, the other coach is trying to get as close as possible, and then it just gets to be sort of like a melee under the rim.
Well, hey, let's we've got Tristan up and running now, so let's get him in here and talk some Battery Creek Whale Branch. Tristan Roberts, what's going on, man? Internet is the gremlins are getting us all tonight, but looks like you're back up. So had a couple of fairly competitive games over there at Battery Creek, but the Whale Branch Warriors come away with both of them. You are a Warrior yourself, so tell us about your classmates taking the dubs tonight.
So for the girls' game, the main point was Zaria Coaxum. She was one like that X factor that Whale Branch needed, like the shooting department and kind of like floor general, because they lost Zeta Scott Frazier for the year, I believe. She's dealing with an injury, and she told me that she won't be able to play. But Zaria Coaxum kind of stepped up as that floor general and shooter that they need. Desiree Jenkins, and she's normally like the X factor, the one that gets in the paint, draws the fouls and everything. But Battery Creek kind of did a good job of taking that away tonight. She got to the line, I think, only twice this year or that game. So they did a good job of taking it away. But Zaria Coaxum, I think she hit a couple threes. I think she was almost 3 for 5 from 3 or something like that. So and then she sat for the first quarter, I believe, and they subbed her in, and immediately she got a steal, fast break layup, then came back, got a steal, and then reset the offense, hit a three. So you can see the impact that she makes on that team, changing them from like kind of a one-dimensional team to, hey, you actually have to guard the perimeter now, you know.
I
Battery Creek
stayed
girls,
home and watched y'all tonight. So I saw that the Whale Branch boys held out the starters, the usual starters, until like midway through the second quarter, and then they got a big ovation for the guys who got all that early run, got them off to a good lead. So tell me about that.
Yeah, when we saw that, we heard the starting lineups announced, me and Javon kind of just looked at each other like, what's going on? Because normally it's either it's Kevin, LaRon, Greg, Bradford, and KJ, but KJ being out to the North-South game, that let them a player down. So I guess Coach Faber just decided to switch the whole lineup, and we kind of just looked at each other like, we're gonna see how this goes. And they got off to a very big deficit. Creek hit 4 threes back to back, all on back to back possessions. So they got off to like a 12-4, 12-5 lead, and then Well Branch took a timeout and came out the huddle and started running their offense the way it needed to be ran. Talon Lee and David Evans are the two that stood out to me the most. David Evans is hot, man, he can't miss from three. I mean, he was hot. Him and Talon Lee, they're really those 3-and-D guys that they need to space the floor. And when Talon Lee gets consistent, he's a problem to deal with. So those are the two guys that I saw from that game in order that they needed to take out that dub that they got.
Just talk more about that rivalry and how that's developed and what it was like out there watching those two Lowco foes went up against each other.
I mean, they were talking all over the court. Dorian Alston was one of the ones that was talking the most. I mean, he had a three in the corner, and I guess Leggett might have said something to him when he was coming up to contest. And he started, as soon as he hit it, he just stood there and started talking to him, and they ran back on defense. I mean that was a very, you could tell that it was all love, but they did have some rivalry going on,
Oh yeah.
Cheerleaders were going back and forth. Crowd was going back and forth. Battery Creek's band was up there. So during timeouts, halftime, they were playing, getting the crowd hyped. So it was a good atmosphere to be around,
Yeah, no, I was a little jealous. I wanted to make it over there tonight, and I just didn't have the time in the day today to get out to a game in Beaufort. I was going to either go there or over to Beaufort May River, but definitely appreciated Beaufort's own, as I always do when I'm stuck at home and able to be connected to it and hear the Battery Creek band. I love to hear them livening up the joint. They make the gym just so much fun, and you guys do a terrific job on the broadcast of hyping it up as well. So it was great to have that lifeline tonight. And so now that you've seen them each a couple of times, what are kind of, I think Whale Branch and Battery Creek girls are both like, they're scrappy and they're going to scrap for wins here and there, but it's going to be a tough season for them. But I think both the boys teams have higher hopes. Certainly the Whale Branch boys are ranked second in Class 1A now. Battery Creek is definitely looking like they're turning the corner a little bit. But what are kind of your thoughts on both of those teams as far as what you've seen so far and what you think we'll see from them going forward?
Yeah, like you said, they're both scrappy teams, but as you know, that can be an advantage, but also a disadvantage at the same time. They do pick up a lot of fouls early on. I know Kevin Jenkins, he was one of the ones that had foul trouble early on. I mean, I think he had 3 fouls in the first quarter. So they're a scrappy team, but that can also bite them. That can bite them like later on down the road when they play a team that knows how to draw the contact, get the rest calls and everything.
Yeah.
But one thing that they do need to clean up on is the turnovers, man. Both teams. It seems kind of like when it's getting to like full court press defense, they kind of know how to run the offense, but sometimes when it's too much pressure, or it's like you could tell when it's those biggest defenders, they try to force passes, and it's either a drop pass and it rolls out of bounds, or it's just like a bad pass in general, it gets picked off, or they just didn't see the guy. So it's like turnovers is one of the main things that kills both of those teams. But on the bright side, they both have like great scores on have great scores. Elijah Mathis, he didn't get it going tonight, but we know what he can do at his peak level. You know, he had a tough and one layup that he hit towards the end of the third in order to get Creek's crowd and everything back into the game.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he brings big energy. I love the way he plays. He's got a little swagger to him. I think the other guys feed off of him. I agree with your assessment that they need to play a little more under control at times. And, you know, I think Whale Branch, like, Faber's style is just kind of frenetic. That's what he wants to do. But it's also, like you said, it has bitten them at times in the past where they've gotten into foul trouble because they get in a game where they're calling it tight. And, you know, you gotta adjust to that. And sometimes when you're that heavy pressure team, plays that frenetic style, you get into a game, they're calling it tight. And by the time you realize it, like, you got a bunch of dudes on the bench in foul trouble and you're fighting uphill. So, no, I think that's a good call that they just need to kind of rein it in at times and be a little more under control at both ends.
Tristan, I want to hear your thoughts on Class 1A, especially you guys, and then Bridges Prep, who right now I think is earned the top 10 ranking as well in Class 1A. So, you know, tell me about what you expect to see this year from Bridges, who also is, you know, knocking the door as a 1A contender.
Well, Bridges, they're kind of like Whale Branch and Battery Creek. I don't know what it is, but they all have like a scrappy defense. You know, I wasn't able to make it out to that championship game. Sadly, I think I had an errand to run or something. But they're both scrappy teams from what I've seen from like the huddle film and everything, and what I saw from last year. It's mostly the same core. They both Bridges has some scorers. I know QJ. I believe his name is QJ. He's one of the main ones. He has a little swagger in his game. It brings a lot of energy to that team. Yeah, and their center Mari. I'm not sure of his last name.
Amarion Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah. He's one of the main one of their main parts of their offense. They try to get him involved in whenever they can because they just feel like he's better than the other big man on the team. He has that confidence in himself too. So those it's definitely going to be a race between Whale Branch and Bridges, I believe, for that 1A title right there.
Yeah, I think Allendale's maybe decent too, but and then there's some fights in that league, man. Bethune-Bowman and you got to go to some places that are really tough to play too. Yeah. Those little bandbox gyms, you know, where you get foul discrepancies like you had tonight, Robbie. And some of those 1A places you get some funky refereeing, but you never know what you get out there.
You know, it's always funny when you're the more aggressive team driving and getting into the paint, and then it's 29 the other direction. But okay, what else?
I've heard some stories from some of those 1A road trips that you'd have to see to believe type things. But well, hey Tristan, we appreciate you, man, and you're doing great work on Beaufort's Own, and we appreciate you being part of the crew here as well. You're always welcome to come on and talk hoops with us anytime. And we know it's a school night, so we'll let you get your homework done.
All right, thank you, man. All right, you have a good night, guys.
Take care. Love Tristan Roberts, Whale Branch student, leaning into it, man. He's on there just about every night with Javon, doing great work. He's on the call. He's doing the post-game interviews. And then if I forget to send him the link, he reaches out and says, could I come on the podcast tonight? And I say, of course.
It's hard to replicate the student reporters who have that extra, you know, insights, you know, being there and being in front of, hanging out with those guys. Really cool to get that insider information sometimes from these students and just their opinion on it, and you know, grow future sports journalists and sports reporters and content creators. It's really awesome what we do, and to get students involved is probably my favorite part of how we've been able to grow this throughout the years. So a lot more
for sure. So students out there, if you are out in the gyms watching the games and you like to talk about them when you get home and mom doesn't want to hear it, like, come on here and talk to us about it and tell the people, because there are people who do care about this stuff and they want to hear your insight and analysis from the games you were at. But Tristan's doing a terrific job, and so is that Whale Branch boys team. I think they're going to be a forced to be reckoned with. Robbie, HHP boys 52-46 over Bethesda tonight. That's another Nice grinding dub for the.
I like them right now. I don't know why. I think that I just think there's something about teams that buy in on the Princeton, like they're gonna
Princeton of the South End.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, they're gonna. If you buy in on that and you have everyone cutting and you have everyone like it gets to be a whole problem, and then you got like smart kids like Connor Campbell and Ben Frey and like all them, they're gonna like, and Jason Britchke. These are kids who
Ben didn't play tonight.
Oh
Ben
yeah,
didn't even play tonight, and they beat Bethesda on the road. That's pretty good. Britchke had a real nice night, 13 and 10. Very efficient, 13 and 2 on 6 of 10 shooting.
They have some of those.
B Moore, 11 points,
B
6
Moore.
rebounds. I don't even know who B Moore is.
Yeah, well,
Connor had 8.
They have a new kid. I'm not sure if that's him, but and they've also
Connor had 8.6 boards, 5 assists, and 3 steals. That is a solid night.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, hey, you know what? When you're playing point guard and you're running an offense like that, you're just gonna have those balanced numbers, and especially, and I mean that's why they're, sharing is caring. They're
Brendan Moore is.
Oh yeah. I mean, everyone's kind of eating at Prep right now, so it's interesting that they've come out and come back as strong. But you know what? They heart of the champion stuff, and they definitely seem to. I mean, I think possibly now. I mean, we talk about this with colleges, right? But there are definitely some high schools, and we're really starting to see it right now, that have a focus on one side or the other, right? I think Christian for years, and if you talk about like their capital campaigns, they seem to be doubling down more on football and baseball right now. So like that's a real huge thing right there. It feels like Prep is just consistently interested in winning basketball titles. I mean, they're important. Other stuff is important. Don't get me wrong, but like football is not necessarily one.
Yeah. On the team I mean, they're pretty into baseball and all their academy models.
Absolutely.
Sure, too.
But that's also sort of like a plug and play scenario, right?
But they certainly have not been focused on football at all. And
no, and so like if you're talking revenue,
come first, and whereas Hilton Head Christian Academy is pushing kids to play multiple sports, Hilton Head Prep is like, no, you should only play basketball.
Well, I think that's I mean it's true and false. I mean, over the last couple of years on the girls' side, they've definitely filled out the roster with like nationally ranked tennis players and.
I totally was referring to the boys' side on that.
They just have a good culture where the kids who go there, want to. I mean, obviously Connor's a big baseball player as well, and a couple of those dudes play football. Like Barger, he's a football kid, and things of that nature. But yeah, it's just interesting. They put more priority. It's like growing up, I went to, I was in and around University of Maryland, and they always just placed far more priority on basketball than football. There's pros and cons to that approach, I'm sure. But definitely that seems to be what Prep does a little bit. I think that's what Cross is doing a little bit right now. Like they're like football is a hard to wade into, basketball not as much. Right.
Well, I mean, it's a numbers game. Like it takes at least 25 to be even competitive in Skiza 8-man or 1A football, and it takes 7 to be competitive in basketball, really. I mean, it's just a numbers game.
It's completely different.
Yeah, it's a completely
and Prep has not been winning that numbers game with football, so it makes sense to lean into something else.
Well, it's like you always said for Hilton Head High School, right? Like they have wonderful front line talent, and they got a coach that everyone loves and is beloved, but they don't have a tremendous amount of depth. So if they don't have depth, certainly the trickle down is there's not much left over for Prep, right?
Right.
And so like, there's, and it's hard, man, it's far down there, right? It's just far down there. So it's hard to get kids to, want to make that.
And it is a pretty, pretty good academic school as well.
Very
So
much
it's
so.
not necessarily for everyone academically.
No doubt.
So that's another factor that limits them.
No doubt. They put kids in real very high end colleges, and I think that of course it helps that they have all that academy sports and the Olympic sports going forward. But but anyway,
I mean, if you're going golf or tennis, it's like that's the place to be.
Yeah, but it's just interesting to see where people are like are prioritizing. I don't know if publics do that quite as much, but like certainly you definitely
I don't think you don't really have the luxury to at a public as much. I mean, certainly you see that influence a little bit with certain NAD who came from a certain sport or something. They'll definitely have an affinity for that, and their mindset might be sort of trained toward that a little bit more. But you kind of get the hand you're dealt at the public school. So
I know the new dreaded charter coming to town. Like the new Pinnacle creation,
the moccasins,
the mighty moccasins. But they're not football oriented. They're not coming with football.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. They're another one of those who are gonna lay their bed in basketball and other sports. So, it should be an interesting sort of.
Well, you know what? That is interesting because that still leaves the door open to me for Bridges Prep to make a legitimate run at football. Because I think there's an opportunity for somebody to start up a program that has some, attendance flexibility in that space.
I think I just don't know enough about the school and like how it operates and how it came to being and like what their academic mission is and all that kind of stuff. But they keep building stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they keep putting shovels in the ground and having nicer, facilities all the time. So clearly people are attending.
It's great for the academy sports. I mean, they golf, tennis. They've been able to, and the basketball programs have been exceptional. Of course, the boys going on the state championship. The girls team always with some a great history.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Hilton Prep.
Oh, okay. Sorry. We were talking about Bridges Prep.
Yeah, Coach Sulik.
I was like, I missed all that, Bridges.
Coach Sulik, yeah.
Coach
Sulik was a legend.
Yeah.
I don't think we mentioned. I think the internet got us. I don't think anybody said anything about Sulik, did we?
No, but we can always talk about Sulik.
Well, yeah. I mean, Sulik's phenomenal.
He is. I've got a wonderful painting of him.
We actually need to get him on here. He wants to come on and talk about Bobby Knight because he had a personal relationship with Bobby Knight.
He should. He wrote a book. He wrote a book on Bob Knight.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He's also just one of the most intelligent and well-spoken men I've ever come across. He's mesmerizing, although he does look like the guy from Saw.
He is. He's pretty mesmerizing. Like you sit across from him and you're just sort of. There's a beautiful mind stuff going on there.
Dude, I mean, there were some nights where I went and covered Hilton Head Prep basketball, and I got to have post-game conversations with Bob Sulik and Rich Basirico, and I felt like my IQ rose like 10 points when I left that field. Like, that's two really intelligent, thoughtful guys coaching basketball that you would get to sit and talk with after a game. And I mean, Sulik was so entertaining to watch too, because that dude was just the whole game. And he'd have all these just little tiny thin girls just running in his offense and running his defense. And then he'd have one girl who was allowed to shoot from outside the paint.
Yeah,
just like you were talking about earlier, Rob. That was the Sulik plan.
Yeah.
Alexandria, you can shoot it anywhere you want. Everybody else, layups only.
Yeah, that's I think that's still like the nature of the beast here. I mean, you definitely have those who like what do they call it? Irrational confidence, right? Who like they get a rebound and then they take like 3 dribbles and they're like, well, I'm chucking this thing. I'm like, hold on, like when has that ever gone in for you ever? Why would now be a good idea to take that on? I'm not sure, but I've seen it a lot here, recently, and it always gives me a chuckle. But there's,
well, the analytics show if you want to make a lot of shots, you got to get up a lot of shots. So
I mean, yeah, There's no two ways about it. Like,
if you're gonna shoot 20% from the field, you better get up 100 shots if you want to have a chance to win.
yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, basketball. I'm looking forward to, and I think what'll be fun over the next couple of weeks is we get back into like the big high school tournaments, right? Where we're gonna mix like the Georgia teams with the South Carolina teams and the upstate teams with the Columbia teams and North Carolina teams. So we're gonna have a lot of fun here in the next month or so. Definitely end of December. I wait till I tell you about the tournament I have to go to.
Well, let me shout out some sponsors first. Our varsity sponsors, DDS Web Design, for all of you who are online all the time, or if you have a website that's not getting clicks and you want to get more results out of it, get us online people to go to it. Call up DDS Web Design or visit them at ddshhi.com, and they can help you get your website up and running with the best search engine optimization tactics to make sure you get found online so you can do more and think bigger. And then the Parker Law Group are friends who serve folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years, and are now supporting us to allow us to continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowcountry. What tournament do you have to go to, Rob?
Well, I don't even need to get into that one. That's just one in Holly Hill, which should be that's a 3-day affair, and I think
I'm certain the Stricklander has some recommendations.
I've been to Holly Hill plenty of times.
Have you really?
Yeah.
So if you guys,
I think they just redid the gym.
Did they?
You got a recommendation for a bar nearby for Rob, maybe with hot wings?
Yeah,
Man, it's Holly Hill. There's nothing there.
What I'm saying, man, I'm just looking for a hotel, something clean. But anyway, it is what it is. Like
St. George or Orangeburg, no, it's close to Santee. You stay in Santee.
Okay, I could stay in Santee. There you go.
Get you a cabin at the lake.
There you go.
I could get a cabin at the lake. I would do that.
Might be the move.
Yeah, that might be
the move.
Okay. Now y'all are talking. But here we go.
There's a guy up there named George Mack. He hangs out under the shade tree.
Yeah, he does.
That's all I know about him. I can show you video of him so you can find him if you see him. But he hangs out under the shade tree up by Santee. He's a big Cross High School football fan. And if you find him, you'll have a good time, I assure you.
I guess, Justin. I mean, yeah.
I met him at the Estill Cross football game last year, the coldest I've ever been in my life.
Oh,
and, I have a video of him singing and dancing that is
there you
unbelievable.
Go.
Unbelievable. But I also have Wes's highlights from Hampton County Hilton Head boys tonight. You want to watch?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, throw them up.
Let's go. Tell us about him, Wes.
Oh man, what a battle this was over at the Nest, and really impressed by Hilton Head's resiliency. Their passing back to beyond the arc. 3-pointer for the Seahawks to.
It was raining on man.
Shot by 4. And it's going back the other way.
Is that Tajay Wright, number 5, who was raining the threes?
5, and now here's Luke Danzel back out to right. Really moving the ball well.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Hampton D'ing them up.
But indeed, picking their pockets, getting the steal, going back the way.
Good, man.
Josh Goodman.
2-point game, 40 seconds left. Dev Allen. Looking inside. No Kayvon tonight. I think Hilton Head would have a hard time defending Kayvon.
Yep.
I do think that.
I mean, that definitely would have made a difference in a game like
He would
this.
feast.
So take that into account. But
Here we
20
go.
seconds to go. Back to Danzel, the bucket and one.
That was sick.
Nice.
There's Mary Beth Lyons shooting in the background. That's my girl. That was a sick finish.
Yeah.
Pretty dirty.
Thought that would be the difference, but Hampton County comes back, makes 2 straight the line, tie it at 58 with 11.1. Here they come back the other way into the outside. Danzel bringing in, back out for the 3.
Oh my!
For the win.
Wow, that's a hell of a win for them. Again, I think Kayvon's worth more than 3 points, but that's a heck of a win for them.
That's still a strong Hampton County team. We got Josh Goodman,
no doubt.
We got Xavier Garvin. There's some talented guys on that team. So,
wow, good stuff.
Yeah.
You want to hear from Reese here? Let's get Reese.
Finish making that game when you shot.
You know, we played really hard. It was a great game. They had great defense. We came out with the win. It was a great win.
Describe how your teammates helped power you guys to a huge win over a strong Hampton County group tonight.
You know, we were trailing sometime in the game, and my teammates, they stayed positive, and we fought for the win.
How do you carry this momentum towards these next few weeks as we continue the season?
These next 3 weeks, I'm excited to play with this team. We lost some people from last year, but I'm excited to play with this team. We got younger guys, and they can play.
All right, thank you, Reese.
Good stuff.
What a great guy. That's someone I thought would really, take that next step after last year. He was producing at times, but he really found his shot so far this year. And on top of that, he is just a handful to deal with. He can pick up some steals, use those quick hands on defense. He was absolutely everywhere in this game. Obviously the points, but the effort on both ends, was there as well for Reese Stewart. So, really exemplary, doing everything that Shane Brown wants out of him. And but Tajay Wright was really a big difference maker as well, alongside Luke Danzel and some others, because I'm pumped to see what this Hilton Head team can do moving forward. They've got a strong, depth of, they may not be as deep as they have been in past years when they had a couple of other guys they could turn to, but still they've got a couple of important key guys at the top who can find ways to beat you, and they will play that relentless packet in defense that we've been accustomed to, and they've been taking really well. And that's it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this region with Hilton Head on the rise, with a Bluffton team that's been pretty solid so far, a Carlton team that's certainly been slept on, but they've got some guys who can make some big impacts. So yeah, it's going to be a fun region upcoming next month when we get into that. But yeah, what a ball game that was. I mean, everything you could have asked for, with the electricity, the back and forth excitement, and making plays on both ends. So man, Hampton County, I think they're right there in Class 2A. Of course, as we mentioned during the showing of Under the Bus earlier today, but yeah, it's them, it's Gray, and it's Oceanside, just like in football.
Yeah, they're ranked third behind Gray and Oceanside, which is annoying. Let's shout out some big scorers tonight. Liz Duncan with 12. Nice game from her again. The youngster.
Was that you got?
May River.
Is that the official box?
Yeah, that was from the official. Well, that was from May River's book, so I assume that's accurate. My girl Julie never leads me astray. For Beaufort's boys tonight, Naeem Pope with 21, 18 of them in the second half. Get off, son. Amani Cleckley, another nice game, 15 points. He had 8 in the fourth quarter. Pope also had 8 in the fourth quarter, so they really carried him home. That game was one or 2 point game at halftime. 2 point game at halftime in favor of Beaufort, and they ended up winning by 13. So nice stuff there.
Speaking of Hampton County, not basketball news, but congratulations to Rob Hanna.
Yeah.
2A Lower State Football Coach of the Year.
And Zion Dobson, Offensive Player of the Year, and Kayvon Chisholm, Defensive Player of the Year, and they're all booked Monday on the Lowdown. So we'll see them then.
That's terrific, and maybe another honor coming this weekend for Zion. We'll see.
And we're going to try to get KJ Chisholm on here Thursday if we can, because he just committed to Jackson State last night.
The old
I love it.
stomping grounds of
Hey, Good
Gonna
thing.
go play football there. Yes, sir. He's committed going into North South this weekend.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited.
cool.
I'm excited for what we see from those guys and just Hampton County in general. I mean, they have put themselves on the map right away, and it's all credit to those kids and those coaches do a terrific job believing in those guys and really doing everything they can to set them apart. And this was such a fun last few months to see the start of this program. Two really passionate schools combined become one, and finding that success and just energy immediately, and just those groups of people, all the characters that we've seen around Hampton. It's been so fun to interact with them and just to be.
I love them.
To be blessed for what we do and for them to understand.
I got
how
my
important it is to
bar
them.
from one time right there. It is. That's the one he gave us at Hurricanes. I never did eat that one. I ate the first one he gave me because I got hungry on the way home that night, and I ate it. The second one I saved and put it in the backdrop there to commemorate. But no, Hampton County's fun. I can't wait to get to some basketball games at Estill because they're playing a lot of home games at Estill. So we get to. I hope they still cook the chicken fingers when they play over there, so I can get them $1 a piece. You can't beat it. All right, fellas, let me shout out the Booster Club real quick, and then we'll look ahead to the rest of the week. Court Lifestyle Pros, Lowcountry natives Daniel and Debbie Courts selling the Lowco lifestyle on Hilton Head Island. So if you want to live the good life like the Courts, check them out on social media. You'll see that they are living their best life, and they can sell that lifestyle to you as well. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, Chris Odom will get your floors so clean that your feet will thank you. I guarantee it. He knows how to clean floors that I didn't even know existed. He talks about all these different kinds of floors. I guarantee you, if you got floors, he'll get them clean. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness now open in Belfair Town Village. Great place to go get juiced up if you're dehydrated. They got a hair of the dog, hangover buster. So Robbie, if you come back from Holly Hill tournament and you need to recoup yourself, go to Prime IV Hydration and Wellness.
I think you've got this wrong. I'm just putting the kid on the bus.
Okay, I got you. Rooted Living Wellness. My guy, Dr. Ambrose Cole, is the best chiropractor I know. They got a great vibe in there. You've been in there, right, Robbie? Nice.
Yeah. They're like the restorative therapy people, right? Like, so if you get after it real hard and you're trying to recover a day or two early, or you got a match coming up that maybe you'd be sore otherwise, you can go in there, and there's any number of ways to get you right. So
yeah, and they even have like a little room where they'll show you how to do some rehab exercises that you can do at home and stuff. Like it's a really cool place. Got massage therapists in there, got chiropractors, got all kinds of various people in a cooperative environment. So go check them out, but say hi to Dr. Ambrose Cole for me. And Eagle Creations, great place to get those last minute promotional items or custom apparel, custom gift baskets. They have a great showroom over on Argent Boulevard where you can check out all their fare. And Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Great place to hang out and catch up with some of those great characters that we've gotten to know over the years on the Lowco sports scene. We had a great time hanging out there a few weeks ago, and we'd look forward to seeing Jay out on the wrestling mat soon. His son Jacob's tearing it up for Thomas Hayward, so looking forward to seeing him out there real soon. Now we're both wrestling dads. So all right, fellas, what are we looking forward to the rest of the week? We got tomorrow we got Bridges Prep at Palmetto Scholars. I won't be making the trip. Ashley Ridge at Carlton County, JP2 at Andrew Jackson. And then I don't have anything on Thursday except I saw Holy Trinity play somebody on Thursday. And then a big slate Friday and Saturday. A whole bunch. Got some rematches. Creek at Ridgeland Hardyville, Beaufort at Whale Branch, BA at Cross. I know you're looking forward to that one, Robbie.
That should be fun on Friday. Should be
HHCA Cardinal Newman.
That should be legit. That should be legit. Yeah, that's a good one as well. And then
St. Joseph's at JP2 on Friday night is fun. Bluffton and Military Magnet, are they still good? That could be fun.
Military Magnet girls is very good. They'll give Bluffton everything. They'll give Bluffton everything they want.
Then we got Beaufort May River coming up on Saturday. Which We got.
Yeah, that's why I didn't end up. I
USCB.
opted out tonight because I knew I could see it at home.
Yeah, I know
Saturday
we
after
have
Saturday night.
we have USCB basketball in the afternoon, but
afternoon.
can head back over there from
Quad header.
I think. Yeah.
Go for the quad header.
Yeah.
You also got Carleton at Hampton in the return trip, so
Yeah.
that'll be hype.
Then Savannah High, looking to keep the home cooking going over at the Nest.
The week after is when it starts to get like fun. You can start to have the Savannah Classic basketball.
Yeah.
And
now Hilton Head goes to Bradwell on Friday.
Right.
Well, that boys game's interesting just to see how that stacks up compared to what we saw with HHCA.
Yeah, well, I mean, HHCA did not stack up.
No, they did not.
It's about the way that went. I think they got roughed up on the ball quite a bit, but
yeah.
But is what it is.
Bradwell's pretty serious.
I mean, it's Hinesville, man. Hinesville's it's a
military town, bro.
It's a military town, man.
Tough place.
Yeah, it's got I feel like it's got more than its share of like JUCO kids, right? Like that, like
just like hard-nosed tough kids.
Yeah, they're just keep coming. So I mean, maybe not the best matchups in the world. I know. Yeah. It's also tough, right? Like right before exams here, some of this stuff's getting a little crazy. Like you're getting into exams here. Some of these kids need these grades and what have you, and there's just games on games on games on games.
Yeah, California had 3 exams today and a game.
Yeah, that's right. And I know Devin. When I talked to Devin, like her head was not even in the game at all. It's like I have so much stuff to do.
Yeah, I know college you normally have like a week off, like for finals.
Right.
High school they don't pull punches, I guess.
No, I mean
they get games in.
No, they get the games in, and I mean the holiday tournaments are some of the most fun, and you get some of the best matchups. But it's really like right after exams, like when you're
kind of fried.
Yeah, you're dealing with some kids right now who are stressed on a lot of different levels, and they're having to play real games. So it's sort of and there's always it creates eligibility sort of situations too. So that's always something to keep an eye on. But I mean, right now, I mean it's an interesting emerging boys and girls, Lowco. I mean, it's really soon we got to break out the power rankings again.
Yeah, I think we've almost seen enough. I think it's probably about time for that. We've probably seen enough at this point. Everybody's played at least, so we have something to go on. So we'll have to get that going. Get that rolling.
I think the girls' ones are endlessly easy. The boys get to be the boys get to be different because it's so have and have not on the girls' side.
Well, but that's where it gets really fun to play the strings on the bulletin board game of all the transitive properties. Well, you can clearly not rank them ahead of them because they beat them, but they beat them, and you're like, but you can clearly not rank them ahead of them. That's be fun.
And I think you get to also like, I mean, how wide is the field? Right, last year we included James Island and Lucy Beckham and things like that. Are we doing that?
Well, I'm not pro that. I'm pro
Lowco power rankings
only, but I think we can certainly discuss where those other teams would fit into the rankings.
But these are specifically Lowco power rankings, I guess.
Yeah, I think our 4 counties is where we keep it for the power rankings. Now we could do region by region power rankings as well, certainly. So maybe we could do our Lowco power rankings one day of the week, and we could do our region power rankings the other day of the week.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sweat me one way. Yeah, it's just interesting because with all like the cross Savannah matchups, right? And like, and then you have that aspect of it, and then of course the in region aspect of some of these Charleston teams just kind of.
Well, we can certainly always discuss that bigger picture too within
right. It doesn't much matter to me.
Yeah.
I think we'll just they'll pick themselves here very shortly.
They will. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. They eventually it just works itself out over time. Although sometimes it complicates itself, ties itself in a knot, like your headphones in your pocket. And you're like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Gravity's weird.
Yeah, and then we have
but
we also have more cross reference games, right? Like between the public and the private.
Yeah, that's always fun.
So we actually have a frame of reference, right? Which is
feels like we have a better one. Just get bitten, Strick.
Which
Strick actually look like you just got bitten by Blue.
He's been biting me for the past hour. This has been the most miserable live show.
I've been trying not to focus on it too much, but he's been getting after you. You can always just let us know that you need to leave. You know, you don't have to stick around and get devoured by your dog for us.
It doesn't matter. He does it all the time. He doesn't quit.
He'll do it regardless. Man's best friend. Well, I think we've done enough damage for tonight, fellas. So let's call it a night. But thanks for jumping on to help us get caught up on the Lowco hoop scene. Thanks so much to Tristan Roberts for jumping in with us as well, and to everybody who listened or watched, and especially to our sponsors who make it all possible. Shout out to Blue and the Stricklander, Robbie B, and Worldwide Wes, as dubbed by Curry Kirkpatrick, the legend. We've got a new episode of Under the Bus coming out tomorrow, so check it out on the Lowco Media Network with Curry, Rich, and Bob Stevens throwing all kinds of people under the bus. They had some good lines today, huh, Wes? They were on it. I liked Curry throwing his own guy under the bus with you can't spell Mayo Bowl without Mac Brown, and then Rich, with his analysis that in the Battle of the Wags, Taylor Swift could post up Simone Biles in the paint.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. They were talking about who would get it over, get over in that battle. But Rich thought Taylor could post her up. So, all right. Well, thanks, fellas. It was a great night of Lowco Hoops, and we look forward to doing it again on Friday. And on Thursday night, we'll have the Lowco Sports Lowdown and tell you about much more going on around the Lowco, including high school basketball, high school wrestling, and much more, whatever comes up. So until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media